Hi, my name is Mike Quinn, and this is the Ultimate Frontline Leadership Training Program. Today, I'm celebrating my 6-month anniversary here, making videos for future managers out there. And for this, I'm going to be doing kind of a 6-month review, and because I've noticed something about these videos, and I've been watching them and making notes and trying to figure out, ways to get better, just like every manager should be doing about their performance as well. And so I'm going to title this one as Why Listening to Yourself is an Incomplete Strategy for Growth. Everybody has blind spots. So usually you're going to tell yourself what you want to hear. So just talking to yourself and checking in with yourself and finding out how you're doing every day is a good thing, but it's not complete. It's not everything you need to be doing in order to ensure that you're growing every year instead of just living the same year over and over and over again. So everybody's got blind spots, and it's easy to fall into the trap of believing everything you do and say is right. That's a train wreck for managers. Nobody is right all the time. So if you check in with yourself at the end of the day going, did I do okay? Was that all right? Yeah, I think I had a pretty good day. That's not checking in with yourself to seeing how you're doing. That's just kind of being the lazy way of just justifying your own actions every day. And that's not going to grow your management skills. It's not going to lead your crew to believing you're getting better and better all the time. And it's just not a growth strategy for anybody. Now, over the years, I've developed a habit of going over my day at the end of the night while I'm laying in bed without any distractions. Now, was I fair in that situation with Carla? Do I treat all employees the same? Did I make assumptions about things? Did I go over all the facts? Did I encourage input from everybody involved? Did I look at multiple sources of validation of the facts? Did what I did or say solve the problem, solve the issue? Will I have to revisit this issue again in the near future? These are some of the questions I ask myself every night at the end of the night to make sure that I'm not just saying, yeah, good job, Mike, you had a great day. Because every day is not a great day, and every day I don't do things perfectly, and every day I wish I would have done something a little bit better. I could have handled something a little bit differently, and I put those notes in my book so that I know the next day and the future days I'm going to act a little bit differently, and I'm going to get better every year instead of just living that same year over and over and over again. Now, having self-doubt is a handy thing for a manager. You don't always want to assume that everything you do or say is right. Because, my gosh, ask your employees, is everything you say or do right? They're going to have different answers for you, and sometimes they're going to be right. So just justifying your own actions or behaviors could set you off on a disastrous path of just being dogmatic and thinking your stuff doesn't stink and just going around and just abusing everybody. So really what you need to do is grab a healthy dose of humility and ask your team how you're doing. Okay, I have yet to hear any of my managers in the last 5 years ask me how they were doing. And that's huge. You should always be asking, and not just the people that like you. They're always going to say, oh, yeah, Mike, hey, you're awesome. Ask the people who don't like you. Ask the people who argue with you. Ask the people you don't talk to very much. Ask the customers, how are things going around here? Has service improved? Has it, has the food quality improved? Has the service times improved? Are things around here getting better? Or can you tell me some things where I might need to focus some attention on? People will love it, especially when you whip out that little notebook and you start saying, okay, great. All right, this, and nodding and writing this stuff in your notebook. It's going to make them feel like they're really having input on how this business is being run. And the more people that have an input on how the business is being run, the more people who have ownership over the results. So if the company is doing great, they own it and they feel it and they celebrate it. When it's not doing great, they struggle to find ways to improve things because they own this thing. If it's just the managers telling the employees what to do all the time, just do what I say, stop complaining, blah, 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 they're not going to feel like they have any ownership in the company. If the company fails, they really don't care. They're just going to go get a job someplace else. But if you make them feel like they have an input, they have ownership in how this company performs, they're going to be much more straightforward with how they're dealing with things and suggesting improvements. Like, hey, Mike, if we stored this over here, it'd make it a lot easier to make, desserts or, whatever. They're going to come up with things that may streamline procedures that you might not have even thought of. The more heads in the game, the more creative options you're going to find. So ask people, ask your customers, ask your employees, ask your fellow managers, ask your supervisors how you're doing all the time. Waiting for your 1-year anniversary for your review is a horrible strategy for finding out what you need to work on next. You should be finding those things out all the time. So here's something I've noticed about my videos. Many things I've noticed about these videos, and I'm struggling to make better content all the time. But the one thing I want to make sure is I want to convey to you guys who I'm teaching here is that my purpose is to educate managers to properly support and lead their teams in their efforts to create a profit for the stakeholders. Now, that's the number one goal. Every unit you work in, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a plumbing store, whether it's whatever, their whole purpose in life is to make a profit. If they don't make a profit, what are they doing here? Are they just creating jobs? That's all their purpose is just to create jobs so you can make money? No, their job is to make money. And if you help them make money, you become more valuable. And so we need to teach our employees to have an ownership stake in the company and to know that, what they do matters. What they do influences whether they make money or not. And the more money they make, the more pride they should feel about their input, their contribution to the company. And it's going to make them feel more satisfied about their job overall. Because if you don't feel like you're really helping at all in the company and what you do doesn't matter to the company, they really don't care very much about their job, because what's there to care about? Nothing they do matters. So why care? So the more you make them care about how their efforts affect the company, the better. So that's what our whole job should be as managers, is to influence and train and coach and cheerlead their teams into creating better profits for the stakeholders, and being recognized for those efforts as well. You gotta recognize their efforts, or again they're gonna think they're yelling into a cave and nothing's coming back out again, and they're going, why should I even bother? So that's a trap you don't want to fall into, is that you have all the answers and their crew just needs to do what you say and everything will be fine, because that is not the way to run a company. The way to run a company is training and motivating your staff into doing the best job they can do, so they can feel important, they can feel empowered, they can feel like what they do matters. And that is job satisfaction at its core right there. So one thing I notice in making these videos is sometimes I'll neglect a detail or two out of a video. There's just so much content to go over that it's hard to make sure that everything gets all put into one. I can write it, I can check it over, I can come up with more ideas and edit it and fit it and think, okay, I've got it great. And then I watch the video again after I made it and I go, I forgot to mention this, or I forgot to mention that. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to reach out in the next a couple of weeks and try to find other managers who I admire and who I think have a really good hold on how to be a manager and what it means to manage teams, and see if they can't review my videos before I post them and manage and note any things that I omitted. I forgot to put this or I forgot to put that or what have you, and maybe any content that needs to be added to it can help me make these videos better in the future. Because I really hate when I forget to mention little tiny things like my video on documentation. I forgot to mention that all documentation needs to be done in private. Now, I forgot to mention it because every time I deliver documentation, it's always in private. It's like something you just do. But because I didn't say it, I didn't teach it to you. And so you may or may not think, oh, that's an important thing because you didn't see it in the video. So I need to have somebody besides myself look at these videos and tell me what I missed, because I have the information in my head, but that doesn't mean that information made it to the video and it's making it to you. So I'm going to be looking for somebody to review my videos and make sure that I'm not missing things. Although it's a great opportunity to make another video about the same subject to include this stuff. So to keep people watching these videos over and over and over again, because seriously, that is what a mentor should be doing. Should be constantly reminding you of doing things over and over and over again. You know, one of my favorite sayings is professional basketball teams, some of the highest paid athletes on the planet. And those coaches are going over the basics every single day, dribbling, passing, blocking, running their patterns. They're doing all the basics over and over and over again. And these guys are millionaires. And they're going over the basics. And so us as managers need to be teaching the basics to our staff over and over and over again. You can't be going, oh, I told them that before. I don't know why they don't remember it. Well, because you can't remember everything you're told all the time. You need to be reminded, just like those professional millionaire basketball players, you need to be reminded of the basics again and again and again. And so these videos that I make, they don't have flashy intros, they don't have music, they don't have, stingers, they don't have all these crazy things that a lot of YouTube channels are made. What I'm doing is I'm just going straight to the information. I want to get you the information you need to succeed as a manager. That's all I care about. How it looks and all that type of stuff. I would like it to look nice and be interesting enough for you to watch it again. But basically, all you really need to do is play these videos again and again and again and listen to them over and over and over again. And by not including that extra music and all those stingers and stuff, I'm making the videos shorter and much more just straight to the information, just like you would want it. Instead of having to wait through all that beginning introduction and all that type of stuff to get to the video, you're just getting the video right away, bang, straightforward. And that's the kind of videos that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make short, quick videos you can listen to every day. And so I'm going to have somebody else double check them to make sure I'm not leaving any information out. And hopefully in the future, the videos are going to get even better and better and better. So if you have any ideas for how I can make these videos better, please write them into your comments here. I don't know if you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube or the Ultimate Frontline Leadership Training.com. I don't know where you're watching these videos, but when you're watching them, go ahead and like them if you like them. Write a comment in when you see something and I forgot to mention this, or, I really liked how you did this or whatever. Just give me whatever comments you feel that you can add. And I'll look through all my comments and see what the consistency, what things are consistent with them, and make changes according to those things. So the more input I get from you guys, the better. And anyway, I hope you're getting a lot out of these videos, and I hope you're watching these videos every day. Every day before you go into work, you should be watching one of these videos. These videos are short enough, you can even watch them on a break. So during breaks or at lunch or before you go to work, play a 5-minute video and, get something out of it and put that video into use, into practice every day you work. So it becomes a part of who you are as a manager, and you'll be growing and growing and growing every year. So I hope you like these videos. Like I said, leave me some comments and help me improve this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks. Bye.